Hello and welcome to the Retired Farmboy channel. My name is Jeff. On this channel we talk about preparing for retirement, living in retirement, and doing some cool things in retirement as well. The topic of the video today is those rock solid goals that will ensure you have a comfortable retirement. Now, this is based on my last video, which was talking about the savings needed for a comfortable retirement. And I've got a link to it at the end of this video that you can go into it and hope you will enjoy it as well. But that video got me thinking about, okay, if you need that much for retirement, what are the things that you must do to be able to reach that and enjoy that? So that's where this video came from. So I've got a few bullets that I want to go over with you on things that will ensure a comfortable retirement, but also a couple of things that you really can't plan for until you retire, and you'll understand when I get to them what they really are. They'll be towards the end of the video. So I'll start down the list of my bullet points that I put together here. The first one is one that you might think is quite helpful, and that's being debt-free when you retire. I know that's not possible for everyone, but I think you should really consider maybe delaying your retirement or making sure that the balances you still owe on any bills, whether it be a house, a car, or whatever, is pretty minimal, and you feel very confident that it's not going to give you trouble. People that get to the point too of being debt-free going into retirement, they usually are the kind of people that have been good savers as well, because they're wanting to focus on doing the best for themselves, and being a good saver comes along with paying off your bills usually. The second point I wanted to bring up was work with an accountant or a financial advisor to make sure you have a good plan going into retirement. So you definitely do not want to go into retirement just hoping you have enough money to do it. Make sure you work with someone who's in that profession and has a lot more access to tools and things like that that you usually don't as an individual, and let them help you out. They can really make a big difference. I started using a financial advisor 8 or 10 years before I retired, and to be honest, it's made all the difference in the world for us. He's able to run some tools, simulations that show exactly what our position is. If we want to withdraw this amount or this amount, we can make adjustments and all that. If we got some big ticket items that we want to do a spend on 5 years into retirement, we can put that in the simulator and it can tell you how that affects your future. So I think that, to me, I'm harping on this a lot because I really believe that it's the right thing to do and very necessary to ensure that you've got all the things you needed going into retirement. So the next one is somewhat of a gimme, I guess, as well, that most people would say, but take care of yourself. Make sure going into retirement that you're as healthy as you can be. Now, I know some people may have some concerns about their health, and maybe the reason that they're retiring. I understand that, but try to make sure that you're doing all those things, even if that's the situation. You're going to the doctor on a regular basis. You're doing blood work to make sure your numbers are where they need to be. You're getting on the prescriptions that you need to have to help you be that comfortable. Because let's face it, we've all worked for our whole lives, and so you don't want to get to retirement. You may have all the savings you can think of saved up, but if your health is bad, it's going to limit you on how much enjoyment you can get out of that money. The next one is do a dry run prior to retiring, and what I mean by that is try to act like you're in retirement. you've got your plan together. You know sort of what your income is going to be when you retire, and just make sure that you try to do a dry run a few months before, just to ensure that you've got the money to handle everything. Because most of the time, people will be having less in retirement income-wise than they do when they work. So prior to retirement is a good time to take a look at that. Make sure that you're doing those things to simulate best you can what it's going to be like in retirement. My wife and I did this for about 3 months before I retired, so it gave us the confidence going in. Again, confidence is a big thing going into retirement. You don't want to be, worried about things. You want to be confident as best you can that it's going to work out for you. So doing a dry run of your spend prior to retirement is a very good thing to do, a necessary thing, I think. So another bullet that I want to cover is make sure you're tracking your financials prior to retirement and also after retirement. So again, if you're working with a financial advisor, you have been getting some updates on that, and you'll continue to get them after you retire. But for people that are trying to do it on their own, or only checking in periodically with an advisor, make sure you're tracking those finances to know where your money's at, how your money's performing. You need to know your finances very well. If you've got a pension that you think you might be getting from a company, you got to make sure that you contact that company and check that off to see whether you have a pension or not. So those are the kind of things that you need to continue to track them even after retirement, because I think that just keeps you in step with what your financial goals are and how they compare to what you thought they were going to be coming in long term as the years go by. Have a plan on how you're going to spend your time. Now, have a transition plan, basically. That's easier said than done, I think. But it is important that you know what you've got. I'll use myself as an example. One thing I said I was going to do was start going to the gym, and I do. I go usually 3 times a week, and I walk, I lift weights, I get into the sauna at the end. I really enjoy going up there. Now, sometimes it's hard to make yourself get there, but I do enjoy it once I get there. Another thing I thought I was going to be doing a lot, or would start doing, was golfing. I've always been a hacker, never have played a lot, but I thought, I'm retired, I'll be able to golf and maybe, get better than I've ever been at it, which is not saying a lot. But so I bought golf clubs and the whole 9 yards, and I've been, I think, 3 or 4 times in the almost 2 years now. I've been retired. So that one didn't quite pan out the way I thought, but at least I have golf clubs to go when I have the opportunity. So those are the kind of things to have a transition plan. Maybe you're going to volunteer. Maybe you're going to do a bucket list item, which is a couple things that I had on my list as well and was able to do them. But you want to have an idea of how you're going to be spending your time. The last one I'll leave you with on the bullets is maximize your Social Security. So if you want that comfortable retirement, you want to be getting as much money as you possibly can in your hands. And Social Security is one of those that, it can be, you can take it at 62, it's going to be a reduced benefit. Full retirement age is likely 67 for people watching this. And then 70, of course, is the maximum. You can delay it till age 70. So a lot of people might not think this, but you can get over $4,000 a month if you delay your Social Security enough, and your income through the years has been a reasonable amount. So I'm trying to hold off for me. I haven't started taking it yet. and I'm trying to hold off best I can for as long as I can. It's a little easier to do right now if my wife's still working, obviously, but once she retires, you know, I'll have to make that decision on, do we start pulling money out of our savings to live on and wait on my Social Security, or do I start doing Social Security at that point to alleviate some of the pull out of our savings account? So again, that's a financial advisor type scenario that I can work with him on to figure out when is the right time for me to take Social Security. But Social Security can be a big deal in retirement if you can delay it, particularly, and maximize what you're getting from Social Security. Now, there's also a couple bullets here that I've talked about up front of things that you really can't plan for, or it's very hard to think that they're going to be an issue. But let me tell you, they are issues. Small issues, maybe more something in your head that you can't get away from than anything. It's not financial or anything like that. So the first one's, you will never think you have enough money. Now this goes to the people that haven't retired, and as well as the people that are retired. I think that's still something that, you know, I've run all these simulations, and I know we have enough money to live on how we expect we want to live. But you still never think you have enough money. And that's probably a reason that a lot of people don't retire earlier, is because they don't think they have enough money. Now, again, that's something that is more mental than anything. I mean, you really should know what your finances are. You really should know what to expect you need in retirement for spending and such. So you really should have it planned out whether you have enough or not. But it's still a very hard one to really get out of your head altogether, because you keep thinking, man, if I'd have waited 2 more years, if I'd worked 2 more years, I'd have this amount of money and I'd be so much better off. Well, at some point in time, you need to take retirement. And I'm going to tell you, take it as quick as you can, as quick as you know that you've got the resources to give yourself the lifestyle that you want to have. I'm all for retirement. I wish I'd have done it sooner myself. The second one, it's difficult to go from being a saver to a spender. Now, you wouldn't think that would be a big deal. Man, I finally get to spend all this money I've been saving. And, you know, but it is a mental thing, again, that I don't think you can really plan for. That still eats at me a little bit, you know, and we haven't even started withdrawing yet. But it still is one of those things that I constantly think. I run numbers. I'm sort of a geek when it comes to looking into the future as best I can. And I've got my own spreadsheets that I run. And, you know, it sort of tells me when we start drawing, you know, we're drawing this much money, and you know, watching the number go down. Even just doing that in a simple spreadsheet bothers me. And I can only imagine how it might get me when we actually start pulling out of retirement. But those are 2 things that I don't think a person can really prepare for. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please please subscribe if you like as well. And like I said, there's a link at the end here on reaching out to my last video about how much savings you need to have a comfortable retirement. So until next time, this is Jeff, Retired Farm Boy, wishing you a good day. Hope everything is going fine for you for the week. But I want to leave you with this. Retirement is great.